I've been eating lots of scones, that's why I look puffy. That is good. Everyone loves a classic scone, but I'm turning this from a tea time snack to an anytime snack by giving it a savory twist. So what we're going to be doing is making some cheesy bacon scones that I promise you're going to love. So first thing, I'm going to get some bacon, some good streaky bacon into a pan, and it's going to be a cold pan, and we're doing a cold pan start because we're going to render out all that bacon fat. And when that comes to a sizzle, we'll be able to add some more ingredients. So we're going to go in with some herbs. So I've got some rosemary and thyme and some garlic. Just chop it all together on the board. And as soon as that bacon's nice and crispy, we can add it to the pan. So that smells incredible. And add some black pepper. Now just get that off the heat so the garlic doesn't burn, and set that aside to cool so we can mix it into the scones later. It's important to talk about bacon. Well, if you're going to use, well, look, not to harp on about the bacon, but as this is cooling down, the reason this is so delicious is because I've used streaky smoked bacon, so don't skimp on it, because that's going to give all the flavor into the scones. And all that fat, which has come out of the streaky bacon, is going to give extra flavor to the scones. So use the right bacon if you're going to use bacon. Unless you're a vegan, then don't use bacon. So the traditional way in making scones is you rub the butter through the flour with your hands, but as a cheats method, we're just going to use a food processor. And that way we're going to get a consistent crumb that's going to allow for a more uniform scone to form. So into the food processor with some self-raising flour and then your cold butter. And then now just pulse that until the butter is finely chopped. So what you'll see is that you've got these small crumbs of butter that are distributed pretty evenly throughout the flour. So let's give that one more pulse. So we're just going to go in with some Parmesan and some cheddar, reserving a little bit for the topping as well, so don't give it all in the bowl. A bit of salt, and just distribute that through the mixture. So that's all mixed through. We're going to go with that cooled bacon mixture, getting all of that bacon fat as well, because it's flavor. And then lastly, the buttermilk. So you'll see the mixture is quite crumbly and it's only just coming together, but there's so much butter in here that as it bakes, it's going to give it a lot more moisture. So just onto a lightly floured surface, just get all of that dough. And now just bring it together. Okay, so once that mixture's come together, just going to roll it out until it's about 3.5 centimeters thick, and then we can cut out each of the scones. Now this is a trick from Lucy at the test kitchen. She had Delicious. Once you've cut them, you kind of create this rounded shape which prevents the scone from rising. So if you put them upside down on the tray, they're going to have straight edges and a straight top, so the rise will be more even. It's a good tip, Lucy. And then onto a tray with just a little bit of space in between each of them. And then finally a bit of egg wash, which is what gives each of the scones this beautiful golden color. And then that reserved cheddar, we're just going to sprinkle on the top for some extra cheesiness. Okay, now into the oven at 200 degrees for about 35 minutes until they're nice and golden and have risen up. So these scones are really pretty indulgent and just enjoy them with a little bit of butter, but I'm going to create a cultured butter. So butter you create by splitting cream, and the cream splits into butter and buttermilk. So to make cultured butter, we're just going to start off with some creme fraiche, which is cultured cream. And we're just going to whisk until you can see that the creme fraiche is totally split. So with the magic of science, we've split into the buttermilk and the butter, and it'll kind of collect on your whisk. And so if you just gently get that off and go through a strainer, and that way we can still get rid of any of the excess buttermilk. And then just push any of that buttermilk through. And this is obviously unseasoned butter now, so just some salt flakes to your tasting. So the scones are piping hot out of the oven. We've got some beautiful cultured butter. All I need to do is taste them. Slather on a decent amount of butter. And don't be shy with that butter. You need to see it. It needs to be like cheese. That is good. Give me a second. So a classic scone is great, but these are so savory, really nice and salty. You get all those herbs. The bacon provides a little bit of crunch, but intense flavor. I think these are going to become the new king of scones. So for this recipe and more, head to delicious.com.au and don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel.